It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. We've done all the work. We've done all the work for you. All you have to do is push play and listen. Doing too many things at once. Brain fried. It's okay. Today we are going to be talking about Big Star. That's right. I skipped over the bad joke, which I normally do, but I don't know. What would I do? Number one podcast? That's probably going to be my pun for later, so I don't want to steal that. So according to my Google list, it says, Adam, Big Star was your idea. So talk to me about Big Star. When we were talking a little bit beforehand, you said there's like an interesting story behind them. We can wait to get to that, but unless it correlates to why you wanted to talk about them.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Justin. It sort of does intertwine a little bit. So Big Star's first album is 1972, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about this as we go along. But and there's an excellent documentary around that album and it coming out. So it was hugely popular with critics. Rolling Stone magazine was saying it was going to be the best albums of the decade at that point. So their anticipation of it being huge was overhanging the album. But unfortunately, it didn't get radio play, and it also didn't get distribution. There was a lot of messing around with the album. So they actually kind of disappeared and became irrelevant right through the 70s because they just no one heard them. And then they started to gain some traction more in the 80s, I understand. And there are bands, and I think we'll be talking a lot about bands influenced by them because they're a hugely influential band. The Replacements, REM, and Husker Du were the sort of 80s wave of bands influenced by Big Star as they reissued the albums. But for me personally, it wasn't until the 90s when I used to, when I didn't have enough money to buy CDs, I would buy music magazines, and what I was most drawn to was reading album reviews. I just loved reading album reviews and I just kept seeing all these bands that I loved, like Teenage Fan Club, even Beck, REM, all referring to this Big Star influence. And I had no idea who Big Star were, but all these artists that I loved Big Star. So, and I never really actually gave them the time of day, even though I knew that they were a big influential band, until probably about 3 or 4 years ago, when I listened to another podcast, which is called We Will Rank You. It's a good. It's my second favorite music podcast, and they looked at number one record, all the songs on it, and after that I just fell in love with them. And hugely influential band of 90s indie music, and I will talk more about that as we go through. But yeah, that's my connection.
Interesting. So I must assume, Gavin, you jumped on. I don't know if this was like you went through the list and saw them. I'm presuming maybe you and Adam did another episode and you said, oh man, yeah, I'd love to jump on that. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, you're here to talk about Big Star. So talk to me about Big Star and why you felt like you wanted to be here to talk about this band.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I think it was a Discord little conversation we were just having.
Okay.
Jumped in on it, but it's really good to be on here with you guys, with Adam again. And John, I don't think we've done anything since the Lemonheads, which was a really long time ago.
Yeah, right.
For me, Big Star. So my first year of high school, in 1984, I bought a record by a band called This Mortal Coil, who is on 4AD. Great record label. That was a really strange band where the record label owner kind of assembled for each song different members of different bands on the label, and that band covered Kangaroo and Holocaust off the third Big Star album, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize that band did a lot of really cool, interesting covers. So I loved those songs, but I didn't know who did them. And then I really loved Need to Meet Me, of course, the Replacements album when it came out in 87. but I didn't know who Alex Chilton was. I just liked that song.
Hmm.
And then in '89, I was 19 and I was living in Santa Barbara, California, which is kind of this beautiful place. And I was kind of like this rat in paradise. Like I was kind of down and out in this weird, wealthy, like Southern California community. And this girl that I liked had the third record, which has a bunch of different titles. I don't know what we're going to call it tonight. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe Sister Lovers, or I call it Third now. Um, and she loved Alex Chilton and really loved Third, and so I really got into that record. And then I bought that record in '89. And This Mortal Coil later in '91 covered "You and Your Sister," which is a Chris Bell song after he left Big Star before he died. And on that song, Kim Deal sings it with Tanya Donley from Throwing Muses, and they do this really lovely version of that. And
Wow.
then I started buying Big Car fanzines in San Francisco in '94, like in the mid '90s, and kind of realized how much of a cult following they had. And um, and then I've just kind of watched their star like rise over the years, no pun intended. Like, you know, it's been great. Like all the stuff that's been unearthed and all the crazy demos and all of the really,
Yeah.
I think John was talking about that on the Discord. And yeah, so really happy to be here to talk about this beguiling band.
So I have to assume that if Gavin jumped aboard in the Discord conversation, that probably means you did as well, John. I mean, especially since you were just referenced in bringing things to the table. At first glance, I'm really happy that you're here because, again, I mean, we did Joy Division, however long ago, but like, again, you and I, when you're here, a lot of times it's the punk stuff, and this is definitely not that. So it is nice to kind of see another side to John. So talk to me about Big Star.
Well, I contain multitudes, as they say. Thanks for having me again. I first heard of Big Star as a kid when I used to shop there because I live in the South and it's the grocery store chain. I remember shopping there when I was a kid, going to Big Star.
That's awesome.
But for real, I heard of them probably in the 90s because they would start to get name checked. When I got into the replacements, obviously, like you mentioned with Alex Chilton, the song like "Never Travel Far Without a Little Big Star." I'm like, okay. And then I would read about them because I was really getting into like reading anything I could, like doing these deep dives. And you would hear about Big Star. You mentioned we did the Lemonheads, like huge influence on the Lemonheads, all that kind of 90s power pop, like the Matthew Sweet, the Posies, Jen Blossoms, who covered back of a car.
Yeah.
You would hear their name, but what I wanted to mention was like just the scarcity of it. Like you couldn't find these records, so I would read about it, but I had no way to hear them because like I lived in a small town in Georgia, and even then, even if you lived in a town with like a cool record store, like because of the distribution issues and things like that, you just couldn't find this stuff. And like I didn't probably hear Big Star until 1999 or 2000 when like the internet era. It's like I think you would hear people cover 13 and like Lemonheads would cover Ballad of El Goodo and stuff, and obviously there's the one song that we're going to talk about that everybody knows by them because it was used in a TV show. But I don't think I really started to digest them until I was in college, and you get into the stuff and okay, there's this whole mystery around the band. Like Chris Bell, like you mentioned, a member of the 27 Club, killed in a car accident tragically. But their music, they kind of took what the late Beatles were doing and mixed it with like there's Bowie in there, but they're from Memphis, so there's like this soul, like Stax influence, R&B kind of like thing. But it's all kind of wrapped in this darkness and mysteriousness to it. Like it's not, it's not happy music, and I think that's one
No.
of the reasons that they didn't like break. Like some of these songs, you go back and you're like, God, how is this not the most popular song on the radio at the time? But because of like the logistical issues, and I think it was maybe just a little left of center for people, which makes it cool and mysterious, so that when the next generation comes in, like it becomes this thing of like, oh, if you're a big star, you like you can't hear them. It's this mysterious thing. So it forces people to seek it out, and like that makes it more worthwhile, and that makes it people want to hold on to it more. So I think the people that got it really stuck with it and passed it on, and it kind of became this word of mouth phenomenon in the 80s and 90s. And then by the time the internet era, now you can pop on Spotify and listen to Big Star's entire everything they ever recorded in the studio. But it just wasn't like that back then.
Yeah.
So this is clearly a band your boy Justin had never heard before this, and
No, you just didn't know it.
Yeah,
you just didn't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as I'm listening, a lot of the covers that you guys are talking about didn't really, those weren't the ones that strike me. But the one that you said was in a TV show, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even watch that show, but I knew that song when I heard it. So, I mean, to kind of touch on like the sounds and stuff, I'm not really a 70s guy, but like there is something here that kind of goes, yeah, it's 70s, but it's I think he kind of nailed it. Like the mysteriousness kind of like drew me in. Like it is wrapped in this shroud of darkness. This thing that I couldn't quite put my finger on that made this, for lack of a better term, a smooth listen. I think that kind of goes to your point about, an R&B type of vibe. So it's not a lot of music here, Adam. I think it worked out to like 44 songs. As we get almost half the discog. Does that work in favor when you're building your list, or does that kind of actually make it harder?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's great discussion around them, because it does feel like they're the closest thing to a band that was put into a time machine and then reopened, like about probably 10 or 15 years after their albums. Late 80s is when the influences started to come through, where musicians were really impacted by them starting to make music. So there's a whole gap there. And some of my favorite artists of 90s indie fame, a lot of melancholy indie and stuff like that, definitely take their influences from Big Star. So whilst there's that power pop element, there's also that real indie melancholy as well there. So for me, I reckon I've got about 7 or 8 songs that were already straight down for me. No questions. In fact, I feel very strongly about those songs, and feel like they're a lot of lost classics that I'd like to make sure we get onto our list somehow, because they really deserve to be heard by more people. The rest of my list did move around a fair bit. And I think I had I might have had about 30 or so at one point, but it wasn't overly hard to get down, because I really do have a core bunch of songs that I absolutely love. I do think that they're a strong band. Their discography is strong. So we could find that we're not always finding each other, because there is so many great songs. But yeah, that's how I went about it.
So Gavin, 40 songs. When you're finding your 20, was this advantageous or hurtful?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked you have kind of 3, perfect records.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna screw this up this time. So, like, I'm gonna be the spoiler. This was a weird one for me. This band is a weird one for me, but I'm not gonna be. I'm happy to defer. I like that we have 4 people and not 3. because I'm a little bit, so how I did my list. So I really like the first two Big Star records, particularly the second side of Radio City. The B side is amazing, but for me, the third record is something like beyond that band, beyond any band. It's like a liminal experience, like sparkling around in the firmament somewhere. Like on any given day, it could be my all-time favorite record.
Wow.
So there's like Big Star and the wonderful, baffling Big Star story, which is incredible. And then there's that third record, which exists independently in my imagination. The jump that they make from Radio City to Sister Lovers in less than a year, the jump that Alex Chilton makes and the drummer Jody were the only ones left at that point. But it is astounding, astounding. And then like the weird move is to go from the third record and the melancholy supernatural, whatever the hell that record is, to go from that to Flies on Sherbert in 79. Alex Chilton's like total fuck up punk disaster of a record is like a totally other story altogether. But I think thinking about Flies on Sherbert does inform the heartbreak of the third record, where he made something so eternal and perfect, they couldn't even get it. Nobody would even put it out, and he just was like, fuck it, and just like got drunk and like fell apart and just kind of had fun, bashing a guitar on the ground or whatever. But those two records, in my opinion, the third Big Star record, It Flies on Sherbert, are the parents of Paul Westerberg, like it's all there.
Yeah,
like the sacred and the profane. The sacred is the Big Star's third record. The profane, the punk, is Flies on Sherbert. Great bands have both those things. The sacred and the profane, like the Stones have that or whatever. Like they're troubled, like Alex Chilton and Paul Westerberg. They're troubled, and they can present like a closed heart and an open heart, sometimes both in the same song. And it's crazy. This album got shelved until it was shelved for 4 years. It didn't even come out until 78. That's fucking, it's on everybody's list of the greatest albums ever made. It's unbelievable, that people couldn't hear it. As soon as you put it on, it's like you're in a haunted house, it's like, what the fuck? And so, so my list is heavy, heavily weighted to the back half of the catalog for sure.
So, same question to you, John. Like, is this a band where you kind of had yours at the ready, or was this a particularly difficult process?
Yeah, I mean, I probably had 6 or 7 that I knew were going to be on there, some of my favorite songs of all time. But I mean, I do want to mention too that we did not include the reunion album, In Space, where Alex Chilton and Jody Stevens got with John Hour and Ken Stringfellow from the Posies, who were in their touring band, and they did make a new record in 2005, but is not on Spotify, so we did not include that one. So there is more Big Star out there, but I think we got everything from the classic period. But yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of listening, and yeah, the third Sister Lovers is definitely different, so it was just a matter of like what to pull from there, what did I feel was like representative, and like, but yeah, I mean, I love, number one record is probably my favorite one, but just trying to get a mix of everything that they do.
Yeah. It is interesting that, Gavin has this glowing praise for third, because a couple of the answers, the non-helpful answers that I got on threads for this question, what do you consider essential? They gave me the first 2 albums and basically said, I don't know what they were doing with third. So, it is interesting. But then when I'm looking at my list, because I feel like I thought the same thing when I was listening, but then I looked at my list and I accidentally came out with like completely even 666 from each record. I think I might have just spoiled my list a little bit, but let's ignore that. I might make a change on the fly because there was a song that I listened to. I like to be up front as possible, but there was a song that I was listening to before everybody jumped on today that I was like, that's on my list, right? And it wasn't. So I have it noted that I might, add it at the last second. So if it comes up before my turn and I'm the odd man out on it, I might take a flyer on it and pop that in because I feel like I missed a doozy and I'd like to be able to correct it in the moment. So I think I have a song that I can, but this wasn't painstaking. It wasn't meant to be, you know what I mean? Like the whole idea why it got bumped up the list was because it's like not a terrifying discography. Sometimes you see that number in the 2 hours 44 or whatever it is, like that's easing enough to be able to listen to it and not stress about, oh my God, I need to hear like everything. So yeah, I think maybe 30 was on my first pass. I can't remember. It wasn't a ton, but I didn't have a miserable time plucking out the last couple. It was, again, not easy, but I felt like the cream kind of rose. Like the ones that I really felt were the best stood out. So, that being said, based on everything we've talked about so far, Adam, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
Yeah, well, I think Gavin might be a wild card here. I mean, I'm pretty evenly spread across the three albums. I could not tell you which one I love the most. I think they're all three are exceptional. I mean, Rolling Stone have them, all three of them, in the top 500 albums of all time. So these are stone cold classic albums, to be honest. So look, but I do think there is some real cream that should rise to the top that we have all got. So I'm still going to go, even though we've got a 4-person panel, we'll go 5.
Okay, all right, I like it. What do you think, Gavin?
Yeah, I'm not going to go 10 on this one. I'm feeling like I staying in the low numbers. I think I'm going to mess up our unanimouses on here, but I don't know. Let's go 3.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, there's always me too. So like, you might find yourself with them, and then I'll be the one to throw it off. 3 and 5 are off the board, John. Where do you think we fall?
Yeah, I think there's just like Joy Division. I think we ended up with 8 in Joy Division.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I think this sets up really similarly to get a pretty big number just because the math of it. So I'm gonna say 7.
Okay.
Nice.
You would do that. Whoa. So again, I want to lose. I don't want that. Although I think I didn't, because I think we missed the number, didn't we? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember yesterday.
Yeah, Joy Division, we didn't make it. We were close. Because I had picked 9.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. My instinct is to split Adam and Gavin. So I think I'm going to go with my instinct here. I'm going to go 4. I don't really have a good grasp. Like, Gavin's throwing me off because he thinks he's going to be a wild card. So when somebody tells you something, you got to listen, at least to some extent. All right. We're going to take a quick pause. And when we come back, we're going to play the game. It's the program. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 4 of us have come through a good portion, most of, the Big Star discography and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never given Big Star the time of day. You know what? I'm not, why hide? There are a few common things that I like to do in this game. With this band, I'm going to do the thing that I do most. I'm going to go with a track 1, album 1, Feel.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
That song like sounds like Cheap Trick, like 5 years before Cheap Trick. It's crazy. That's a great song. I just don't have it.
I love that song so much.
I thought it set me up nicely for what I was going to get. That's, I love when a band does that. Tell me what you are as soon as possible. So, all right. It gets a 2, which in a 4-person episode is not bad. All right. Adam.
I got to say, Justin, when I was thinking about this, I was entirely confident I would put money on you picking that song because it is a great opening to it. And look, I'm gonna try and come out and land things. I'm gonna stay on number 1 record as well. One of my favourite '90s bands, a Scottish band, Teenage Fan Club. I don't know if you guys are aware of them, but
Of course.
they were always attributed to sounding like Big Star, and I once I actually listened to Big Star, I could not believe how much they pulled on Big Star as an influence. And look, we've already mentioned this song, but I'm going to get it out there now, and it's been covered by many bands. Should be a classic, should be known by everybody, and that's 13.
Yeah,
Yes.
Of course.
Was that everybody but me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have 13?
Oh, you haven't got it?
No, I don't. And
Dude.
Oh,
I know.
oh, shit.
I know.
We're not getting 7.
I'm starting to feel sick.
I know. Well, it's the only actual song answer I got when I asked. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Justin on this panel is, I mean, they have 44 great fucking songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Justin could be anywhere,
Yeah. I could be anywhere.
This is widely regarded as this has got an argument for one of the best songs ever.
Sure.
This song,
But-
in my opinion.
Well, again, to John's point, we're probably not getting 7. A 3 is just about as good as in.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
just keep that one in your pocket for now. So,
Yeah.
All right. Gavin.
Oh, I'm going to come out strong. Let's do Back of a Car off Radio City.
I got it.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Bam.
There we go.
Can I just say that I actually played this song to my daughter, and my kids have been exposed to a lot of music over many years because of me. And I said, "What decade do you think this is from?" She said, "Oh, it's definitely '90s, Dad.
Oh,
This is a '90s song." And you can see it. You can, when you listen to it, you can hear that influence that came through in the '90s from that song.
Yeah. Gin Blossoms did it.
100%. Yeah.
20 years early. Yep.
you know what? I mean, that's funny. Like, even when you guys were saying these things in the first part of the conversation, it didn't really even dawn on me that must have been what I was drawn to. Like, I'm a huge, it's hard to get me out of my 90s pocket. So,
Yeah.
all right, we got one. John.
All right, let's switch it up and see if we can get something a little off track here. How about Thank You, Friends?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Well, here we are.
Maybe
Here
we
are.
will get 7.
Yeah, maybe.
I would not have guessed that. That's such a
Yeah.
lovely song. So great.
Yeah, beautiful song.
What's funny is that's one of the two that I had marked that might get the axe, but I leaned on the other one. I mean, we haven't gotten to the one that got the axe yet, so we'll see. It's basically whichever one comes up first.
Your songs must be a bit nervous, Justin.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, but 2. We're doing A-okay. That's not bad for a 4-person panel to come out of the first round with 2 unanimous. All right, speaking of songs that already came up, even if this doesn't get in, the fact that I knew it, and when I saw the name of the song, I knew what it was without knowing what it was. And actually hearing the real version versus the one that was on the TV show, I was like, oh man, this is a way better song than I ever gave it credit for. In the Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey.
Nice. They did the Big Star. Big Star did it on the first season of that show, and then Cheap Trick covered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I feel so sad for them that the song that is most known from a TV show, they had someone else do an inferior version of it. Like,
Yeah.
like they couldn't even get the credit for that, you know, because it is a great song. It is, the original is a great song. It's a real toe tapper. It's good.
No, and it kind of goes to that point that John was talking about at the beginning. Like, it's like a dial, like just somebody turned it to just a hair to the left, right? From being what should be blowing up, right? Like, it's like his voice in this, it's like borderline grating, but like in a good way. Right. And to Adam's point, it's definitely toe tapping. It's that, you know, it has that going for it, but there's also something, I don't even know, like off-putting, again, in a good way. Like there's something beyond the face of this song that I can't truly explain, other than the fact that it is really, truly just a really good song. So, yeah, there we go. Adam.
Okay, I was going to go my favorite. I'm going to go with a slightly deeper cut this time from Radio City. And whilst I think they've got a lot of influences of pop, power pop, this song is more like a song that's kind of falling apart. And I love music that sounds like that. So some of my favorite bands like Pavement and Guided by Voices as well, who I know are very influenced by Big Star as well. And this song just sort of holds it together, but it really reminds me of my favorite 90s music, and that is Life is White.
Oh.
No.
Can't save you, Frank.
Yeah, I didn't think. I thought I might get a whiff on this one, but I love that song. Yeah.
I like your description.
Yeah.
All right. Gavin?
Was Adam alone on that one?
Yep.
Yeah, it's dead. Yep. Goodbye.
Signing off. I'm going to take Big Black Car off the third record.
Nope.
No.
No.
The Whiff on Big Black Car.
All right.
Hey.
John?
I love that song, but I wasn't sure it would be on a starter pack. That's where I kind of went with that.
Yeah, that's a deep song.
Yeah.
It's like you're driving across the country with some lover you're not supposed to be with, and you barely have enough money for the Holiday Inn or something, and like things are not going well. Let's just put it like that. But yeah.
All right. John?
All right, let's see if we can hit on one here. How about September Girls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. For the record, this is one of the only other song I got.
As it should be.
Yeah.
that's such an incredible song. So incredible.
I think both the people that answered said 13 and September Girls. So
entire bands owe their entire catalogs to this song.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, you can just hang it up after you write that song, but I'm glad he didn't.
It's so sad that people don't know it, because it should be a household classic, that song.
Yes.
The Bangles had some success with it as a cover in the 80s, but again, Big Star don't get the credit for that.
Right.
You know, people think it's the Bangles song.
Yeah. And everybody I know, all my friends forever and family, everybody's born in December. And he said, he says December boys got it bad, and so that was a good one for my crew.
All right. So we're back to me, huh? I'll go back to the top here. Number one record. How about The Ballad of El Goodo?
Yes.
No.
Of course. I mean, what are we doing here?
You said no, Gavin.
Yeah, no.
Shit.
Right, we'll take the 3.
Oh,
I mean,
the classic too.
The 3's, I mean, the 2 is starting to look a little unsafe, but right now these 3's are looking like they'll be pushovers to get in. So, all right, Adam.
I cannot believe that was not unanimous.
Yeah, I thought I had that down as a unanimous, and I'm going to pick myself up off the mat, and I'm going to go to third, which we've already talked about. Gavin you all gave a great example of that. That's not even an album, is it? That was never released as an album. They couldn't. My understanding is it was sort of a couple of years later, wasn't it? Because they basically said this is unsellable.
Yes.
I don't even think they ever knew if it was a Big Star record or an Alex Chilton record or what, because there's no
I think you're
credit
right.
on it.
Yeah.
But I think the more I listen to this intensely, the more that album or collection of songs just rose and rose for me, and I just absolutely love it. And I'm gonna go another left fielder, which may not meet too many people, but it just sounds like it's just falling apart, the entire song. They're just holding it together, but I just love it. It's one of my favorites. It's called Oh Dana.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. No. That one.
Love that song.
The two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was for sure one of my later cuts.
So good.
Adam, the first lines of that song, he says, "I'd rather shoot a woman than a man. I worry that this is my last life." Those are the first 2 lines.
I know it's not happy.
And then he's getting busted, like he's getting busted for drugs, and like so great.
It's so woozy sound. It sounds woozy, like it's.
Yeah.
I love that kind of woozy kind of. It's just sort of holding it together. He's definitely sounds like he's affected by something, and it just it's a mad, wild ride. And anyway, it's good to at least shout out the song.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Still alive for now. All right, Gavin.
I'm going to do a deep cut off the third record. This really, really beautiful song. It probably flies under the radar. But once it gets you, it gets you. You guys does anyone have Blue Moon off Sister Lovers?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
Awesome.
I absolutely love that. That song is. That's one of my favorites, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are about to kill.
There's going to be a lot of pain to go around for everybody.
I did. Yeah. Can I just call something out that I read about that song? So I did read that Mike Mills has said that Night Swimming, REM's Night Swimming, was effectively based off of that song. They were right into big star fans. So, that's interesting.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's cool. I think His Name Is Alive covered it. They're a 4AD band, and they do a really beautiful version of it.
Okay.
All right, John.
All right, I'll stick with third. I'll play your game. How about let's just do Holocaust.
Yes.
No, unfortunately.
Oh, Adam.
I know. I thought about it, but I thought I can't just put all of these melancholy third songs. Yeah. So it is a good one, though. Yeah.
I just think in the melancholy sweepstakes, Holocaust is like, it's like their Hallelujah. You know, it's like it's like so fucking incredibly devastating that it just wins. It just wins hands down. That's a 2 on Holocaust?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to knock out all of third with 2s.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, anyway.
All right. Let me try some of these Radio Cities. How about You Get What You Deserve?
Late cut for me. Like, it was on the edge for me, that one. Yeah, it's a goodie, but
I got it.
All right. I'll take the 2. I mean, at this point, all the 2s are doing is making the conversation difficult, but we take them where we can get them. All right. Adam?
Okay, I'm going to go to number 1 record. And the first 45 seconds of this song has some of the most beautiful acoustic guitar you'll ever hear. And I think Jeff Buckley must have been listening to it too, I reckon. And that's Watch the Sunrise.
Nope.
No.
Yep, I got it.
It.
That was one of the first songs. That was one of the first songs they wrote.
Is it really?
As Big Star. Yeah, because I think it carried over from Alex Chilton's previous band. Not the Box Toss, but one of the previous bands in Memphis.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
That's another 2?
That's another 2.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Gavin?
I'm going to do another weird Morpheus song off third. Do you guys have Dream Lover?
No.
Dream Lover, trashed.
Yep. John?
All right. How about Oh My Soul?
Yeah, I got it.
Absolutely.
No.
All right. We need to.
That's a fantastic one. That one. I love that song.
Track 1, Radio City. Great song.
We need to get at least one more because we're sitting at this 4 and I don't like it. Starting to get worried. All right. So that was John. We're back to me. All right. How about I do one of my thirds? We'll find out. How about You Can't Have Me?
No.
I found the one from third that Kevin doesn't have.
That's crazy. That's a great song. Did you have it, John?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Into the bin it goes.
Either.
I mean, this is kind of playing, like, third is playing out pretty much how I thought it would. It's kind of like split decisions.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense.
Adam.
Okay, so I'm not sure why I'm staying. I'm going to stay on third as well. And a lot of the songs do feel like they're falling apart, but this one actually is just a beautiful, pure pop song, and that's For You.
Yeah.
I got it.
And with beautiful strings and everything.
I got it too.
Oh my God.
4.
That's
Nice.
so great.
I'm so happy with that because that is just a belter.
Wow. I would not have expected that. Yeah, that's so cool. What a cool song to pick.
And Justin's off the hook.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank God.
And just
the
the strings, yeah, go on. Yeah.
Just on that record are so weird how they use them, and they're so beautiful.
All right.
That's where they're guided by voices I could hear through that. And just a lot of bands that so there's really strange 90s bands that really, I think, were listening to that album and some of those really unusual string arrangements. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they work, you know?
They do. And for you, I think it took me even years to find that song. It's like there's so many little buried songs on that record that are so incredible. And like each year they just reveal themselves to you as you get older, So I'm really happy that made it. That's really cool.
All right. Gavin, you're up.
I'm going to go with the last song on Radio City, which is kind of sweet, but I just love it so much. Do you guys have I'm in Love with the Girl?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes. Yep.
Hey.
Oh! Wow.
Beautiful song.
This is looking a lot better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
That's cool. We got 6.
Just like that.
John had it dialed in.
Yep. And I think
that was at the bottom of the list, but it was on there.
Yeah.
To John's point, like, I think the math just plays out that way. Like, it's... It didn't feel like it there for a minute, but eventually...
He kept the faith.
All right. John?
All right, how about What's Going On?
No.
Mm-mm. Nope.
No.
Wow, that's surprising.
What's going on is John 1. Is that the first time in the bin today, John?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. I honestly don't know where to go here. See, what do I got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. 9 if you include my extra song that could get swapped out at any moment. All right, you know what? I feel like... Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to try these ones. Like I said, I kind of accidentally gave a spoiler at the beginning. How about Lovely Day?
No.
No.
I had a feeling. I was overthinking. All right.
But the weird thing is, Lovely Day is like an early take on Stroke It Knoll. But maybe let's see how that goes later. Okay.
Okay. Maybe. I'm surprised that didn't hit me. All right, Adam?
I cannot believe we've only got one unanimous off number 1 record. And I know Gavin hates it, but I know you don't hate it. But I'm going to try one more go. I'm going to just give me another chance to get one. Give me another chance.
No.
Nope.
No.
That is one of my personal faves, so I will need a couple of minutes to get over that. Yeah.
All right.
How are their chances?
Yep.
It's just beautiful. It's just such a beautiful, it's just so remorseful, and it pulls you into this world of he's just begging for another chance. It's not a lot to the lyrics really, but it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
All right, Gavin?
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
You guys have Jesus Christ.
No.
Yes.
That's your swapping, is it?
It was technically my swap out. So the swap out came first. So
okay.
I'll let you guys know the one I almost swapped in for Jesus Christ at the end.
All right.
Let me make sure I take it off of my list here so it doesn't cheat its way in. But that does mean I can't make that other song unanimous. But this does give us another 3, which I think officially kills out the 2s, or it's close.
We'll see.
John loves when I do that, because then he gets to do that. All right. So Jesus Christ was Gavin. John, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna go with this might be a little too on the nose, but I mentioned their Beatles influence at the beginning, and this is definitely like, hey, we listened to George Harrison solo album. How about the India song?
No.
I don't have it.
No.
Yeah, didn't expect that one, but
Sometimes you got to throw it out there. You never know.
I liked it.
All right. I'm thinking maybe one more go, and then I'll dump out. But I also don't know which song I'm going to try. I'll try a third. How about that? How about Kiss of Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
All right. I'll take a 2 here. That's all right. Even though it's slim chances of getting in, I'll take it. Adam?
Okay. Oh, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to Radio City. And this is a song that kept just rising and rising for me. I didn't actually think it would make it into the top 20, but it's one of my faves now. Just lots of swirly guitars and great hooks. And that's Daisy Glaze.
Yes.
No.
You know what I hate? That was the song that I was going to swap in.
Oh no!
Well, it wouldn't have been unanimous anyway.
Wouldn't have been unanimous.
No.
That's a wild song, Adam. It like starts off all dreamy and like you're making daisy chains or something, and then it just starts like fucking rocking like the last. It's a really long song. It has a bunch of different parts. It's really cool.
You know, it actually made me think of, because I was thinking a lot about 90s music, listening to them. Like there's a bit of shoegaze about it. That shoegaze sort of sound, maybe through there too. So,
a little bit.
I don't know if that was influenced from that song, but yeah, it's really interesting.
I'll tell you that when I was listening to it, it felt like a huge misstep on my part. So there's that. I mean, and it did feel like a big enough misstep that I was going to swap it into the list at the last minute. So for whatever that's worth, I mean, again, my vote wouldn't have made it unanimous, but still, the difference between a 2 and a 3.
But then we wouldn't have Jesus Christ on the list, would we? So
That's right.
Is that right? Yeah.
All right.
That still would have had 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Gavin.
Okay, well, this is the one where you guys can hurt me back for sure. So, possibly my favorite Big Star song ever. Do you guys have Kangaroo off the 3rd record?
I know that was another late cut for me, but it did not make my list.
No, I don't have it.
Not Adam, not even you.
No, I didn't. I thought about it. It was sort of considered it for a while, but unfortunately, no.
Okay.
All right. So, John.
All right. How about I'll go back to 3rd. How about Nighttime?
Absolutely.
Oh. No.
Oh.
Well, I knew you were going to have it.
You know what? I could have easily. That was so close, and I'm frustrated that I picked the wrong ones, because we're going to end up with a whole lot of 2s on these.
We all picked the wrong ones because he picked all of them.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. No, sorry, John. No.
All right, so that's a 2 though. So it goes.
That's a great song.
It hanging on by a thread. You know, we'll see where we land here.
It shows how quality their discog is, isn't it? Like we are going through a lot of their songs.
Very strong songwriting, yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna dump out. I'll start at the top here. Don't Lie to Me.
No.
Yes.
All right.
Ooh.
A pointless 2, maybe, perhaps. We'll see. When My Baby's Beside Me.
Nope.
No, but it's such a good song. Great.
Yes.
Ah.
You guys are nuts. That's a great song.
Speaking John's language.
Yeah, right. Let's see. ST 100/6.
No.
No.
All right. All alone on that one. Let's see. Next is Maud Lang.
Oh, it's a great
No,
song.
but it's a belter. Yeah, I like it.
That was number 21.
Yeah. All right. Till the End of the Day.
No.
No.
Yes.
Hey. All right. I think I'm clearing out John's list.
For real.
That's a Kinks cover.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, is it?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last but not least, Country Morn.
Oh, that's a cool song. I didn't know that song. I don't have it.
Yeah, that was one of the bonus ones that
Yeah.
got added on. No, I don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that an early version of Watch the Sunrise? I think, or is it Watch the Sunrise? But no, I don't have it.
Could be.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so I muddied it up a little bit by adding a couple more twos in there. So, Adam, you want to dump out? Oh wait,
Yeah, I've only got two.
Before we do that, what do we land on? 6?
6, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
nobody wins. We got to talk the whole way through it. So
I think that's good because there's a lot of debate to be had, I think.
We'll
But
see.
I've got two. I only got two left, so I've been cleaned out pretty well. But so off of number one record, My Life Is Right.
No.
And off of Radio City. Oh, hang on. I've got three left. Sorry. I think. Sorry. Way Out West.
all right.
Off Radio
No, that's
City.
no.
No, I don't have it.
REM like that song, I reckon. And I can't remember if we've called this one out or not. So I've got it marked off, but I don't think I might have made a mistake. It's Stroke It Noel.
No.
I have it.
I have it too.
Oh.
Nice. And Justin had an early version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we almost could have had a unanimous on that.
Yeah, that's it from me. Yeah.
All right. Gavin, you want to see if you can complicate things here?
Yeah, I have a weird song off of the second side of Radio City, Morpha. It's called Morpha 2. I really like that little weird dreamy song. And then I have Take Care off of the third record, which is just another beautiful little song off the third.
All right.
Nope, don't have it.
All right. And which ones didn't I find from you, John?
The only one I have left is Femme Fatale.
Oh, all right.
Oh, Velvet's cover. They do it
Yeah.
so great. I don't have
Yeah.
it. That's how
I
cool
love that
though.
song.
They do it so good.
Wow. So we covered, looks like what, 40 out of 44.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Did
pretty
we really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
40 out of 44 with 6 unanimous. So let me run down these unanimous real quick, and then we'll start talking about these threes. We've got Back of a Car, Thank You Friends, In the Street, September Girls for You, I'm in Love with a Girl are in. These threes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, The Ballad of El Goodo, Oh My Soul, Jesus Christ, Stroke It Noel, and that's it. So by the sounds of it, I was pretty egregious on missing 13. Considering it was one of the answers I got, I was the only one who didn't have it. It feels like that's a no-brainer, yeah?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep.
All right, so if we take that one, and that brings us up to 7. Is there another one that's kind of sitting there?
Ballad of El Goodo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
That's fine.
All right. Boom. So that leaves Oh My Soul, Jesus Christ, Stroke It Noel. Is that, are we taking 2 of those and leaving one in the dust, or do we want to look at any of these 2s? Are the 2s officially dead, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I would like to fight for Holocaust a little bit. I would prefer that one over one of the other 3s, I think.
I'm with you on that. I mean, that may be the greatest song they've ever written.
Wow.
I'm not going to argue against Holocaust being in there. It's a great song.
I can't argue. I don't have an argument.
Like
So-
it's the antithesis of like the In the Street, Back of a Car, Ballad of El Goodo type songs. It shows their range a little bit, and especially being on the last record there, I think that gives some depth to the list.
Okay. I'm with
That's a
it.
great point.
Can I throw one up then too, please? That I think, and that I would say Oh My Soul should be talked about. It's different. It's a bit different.
Sure. I mean,
than
that's
everything
a 3.
else.
I'd be fine with Oh My Soul and Holocaust and call it a day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
What does
okay.
that do? What does that do to the split?
Yeah,
Justin, can
let's
you
go through
tell
that.
off the bat how many on each record? I'm cool with that, John. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's. So if we do exactly what we just said, can't do any better than this. It's 3 from number 1 record, 4 from Radio City, 3 from third.
Yeah.
That, I mean, without even trying, we kind of hit everything, and everything's got good representation. I think, again, unless somebody really wants to make a fight for something else, I think that's what we're doing.
Unless we go 0-0-10, I think I'm good with that.
Craziness.
All right, so we got our 10 then. All right, let me run this down, and then we'll crank up the heat a little. We got Back of a Car, Thank You Friends, In the Street, September Girls, For You, I'm in Love with a Girl, 13, The Ballad of El Goodo, Holocaust, Oh My Soul. Adam, of those 10, which one's the one?
I think there's 3 ones. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to go September Girls.
Okay.
Me too.
All right. John?
No, it's Ballad of El Goodo, man. That chorus is undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
Like anyone who hears that is gonna be like, wait, this is my new favorite song of all time. Who is this band? Like, and believe me, like, and Adam, you're right. Like, yeah, there's the 3. It's September Girls, 13, and Ballad of El Goodo. Like, those are
They're the 3. Yeah,
hands down their best, like, most famous, iconic songs. You can throw In the Street in there maybe, but I think Ballad of El Goodo is above and beyond the one that's going to get someone into Big Star.
What do you think?
Adam doesn't care as much about this as I do, but it's always super fun for me at the end of the year. So, John, if you're going to fight for El Goodo at the end of the year,
of course.
Yeah.
I will, pass.
All right.
You know what? I normally don't care, but I actually do care about this with this band, because this band deserves to get more recognition than it does, and I would love it to get the votes at the end of the year, because it really
I'll put Buffus up, and we're not leaving that thing until Ballad of El Goodo is on the list.
Fantastic, excellent, John. I like it.
Yeah.
So here's
put that up then.
Here's something I want to put out there that's kind of interesting too. We did Living Color the other day, and a lot of times when this part of the conversation comes up, I'll jokingly say, you got to think about Fredo. You got to think about Fredo, but because he is one of the panelists, and a lot of times when I do the show with Randy, he's like, I don't care about that. But with Living Color, he definitely took it into account. I'm taking it into account too with this band, because I think this is totally in Fredo's wheelhouse.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we'll have a hard time convincing him.
No, Randy will be the wild card, but I don't think he'll be too hard to convince either. So, all right.
I'm sad that it's not September Girls. I'm just saying that.
There's nothing wrong with September Girls. It's a perfect song, but I think Ballad of El Goodo, just that chorus, like, the first time I heard it, I was like, well, this is my new favorite song.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
We have a good list. We got the bangers,
Sure.
but we got some we got some weird ones in there too,
For You and Holocaust and Thank You Friends. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let me run it down one more go. Ballad of El Goodo is our number 1. Back of a Car, Thank You Friends, In the Street, September Girls, For You, I'm in Love with a Girl, 13, Holocaust, and Oh My Soul rounds out our 10. Let's let the Ballad of El Goodo get a moment in the sun.
It gets so hard in times like now to hold on. But guns they wait to be stuck by.
We did it. You may not have heard of this band at all before, but you have. And now you definitely have, because we did everything for you. We did all the conversations. We did all the discussion. And we turned you into a Big Star fan. If you like that, if you like the band, first of all, go listen to the whole discog. It's less than 3 hours. It's well worth it. Well, at least the Discog that we tackled, I should say. Also, if you like the show, now's a great time to hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening from. It does help if you subscribe, rate, and comment. If it happens to be on Spotify, you can leave an answer to the Q&A. If you're listening to this one, the question will be, what do you consider essential Big Star? You can answer that after listening to the list if you want. You can put up your list if you want. Anything to get the conversation going, but please do include a 5-star rating with that. Same thing with Apple Podcasts, where most of you apparently are listening. A subscribe, a rate, and a comment would be very helpful to us with the algorithm. You can also share the show. That's super helpful. If you're listening from legionofstupid.com, awesome. You found that on your own. I love that. I didn't have to point you in that direction. That's cool. You can go, you're obviously already on the deprogram page. Did you know that if you scroll a little bit back up, you'll see a sign-up sheet and you can come talk about any band that you want to. You missed your chance at Big Star, but tell me what band you do want to talk about and we'll work on getting you in here. And we'll talk about your band. Other things you can do from legionofstupid.com, as before mentioned, you can listen to the show, share the show from there. But you can also click the Discord link up at the top. It'll take you to the Legion of Stupid Discord server. We do some counting in there. We have Music Bot Boy. There's program discussions in there. There's also a thread for finding panelists. So if you put up a band and you're having a hard time finding people to talk about the band with you, you can jump in that channel and say, hey, you want to come talk about this band? And again, you'll find your people and we'll try to make it happen. So as a matter of fact, we said that this is how this episode came together, was through Discord. So just saying. We also do the episodes on Discord. So, I'm just saying. Discord's a good way to go anyway. It also is a perk of going to Patreon, patreon.com/oh hi Justin. If you get in at the $1 level, it will get you access to certain Discord channels that some people don't have. The Oh Hi Justin chat being one of them. It'll also get you access to the conversation we're about to have. We're all kind of running out of gas. Well, John and I for sure are running out of gas. It's morning time for Adam. He might be all right other than being cold. But we are going to have at least a brief conversation after this. You can get access to that by going to the Patreon, patreon.com/oh hi Justin. You also get Deprogram Before the Rest of the World, and the occasional, I was doing really good for a little while, the occasional Oh Hi Justin episodes where I kind of talk about whatever. So all those things happen at the Oh Hi Justin Patreon. Would love to have you on board. I think I covered everything. If not, sorry, I did my best. With that, Big Star, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.